Hey everyone, it is Jenn Foster here. I'm really excited today to talk to you because I'm going to help you avoid costly mistakes when publishing your first book. Now, I know that a lot of people like to do it yourself and to go Amazon on KDP and Ingram Spark have really great tutorials on how to do it. But today I'm going to talk about how to avoid those costly mistakes. Because when you're publishing your first book, you're an author, you're a writer, and that's what you're good at, right? You're writing, right? Right? So we're really excited to get into this. So let's go over the top mistakes that authors make. Because you're a writer, you know what you're doing, you know how to write a book, or you know how to write good stories. But when it comes to publishing, there's a lot to know. And so I'm going to talk about the pitfalls so that you don't make those same mistakes. So the very first thing, of course, is knowing where to publish your book. There's so many platforms out there like BookBaby and Blurb and Lulu, and there's so many book platforms. Even Barnes & Noble has one, Barnes & Noble Press. So there's so many places you could publish your book. Ingram, Lightning Source, there's so many. So you got to know what each one does and why it's important to use it, right? Some people will say, well, I've only published on Kindle Direct Publishing and I just like it and that's all I want to do. Well, having your book in just one place is actually a mistake because if you have your book on Amazon and then they decide, because Amazon owns that, like you're sharing 60-40 split, right? On the paperback and 70-30 on the ebook. What if Amazon just decides to shut your account down? That's happened to thousands and thousands of people. If you search on YouTube, my account has been shut down on Amazon or KDP. You'll find so many people that that's happened to. So you don't want that to happen to you. And so you want to have a backup plan, right? You don't want your book only solely on Amazon. You want your book to be everywhere books are sold. And so that is like the number one mistake I see authors make is they say, oh, I just did my paperback and my ebook and it's on KDP and everything looks good. But they don't really realize that Amazon could shut them down at any time for whatever reason. We've had an author that had an email from Amazon that said, you can't have 2 Amazon accounts. So we're shutting you down. That's against our terms and conditions. So, that's pretty crazy, right? She was like, well, I only have one Kindle Direct Publishing account, but then I do have an Amazon shopping account that I use for my business, and that's a different email and a different account. But she had the same bank information on them and the same, same name. And anyway, they shut her down. So we had to come up with something different. So you want to make sure your book is not just in one place. We recommend not using Amazon for distribution because that isn't a good way. Amazon doesn't distribute your books like in all the places, right? They actually would rather, I think they only have like 20 or so on their distributors. You want your book to be in all the places. So when we help our authors publish books, we help them to have their book on 400 different, it's actually more than that. I think if you look at it, it's like something like 400,000 different retailers, something like that. Anyway, it's a lot of retailers that your book is being sold on. So not only Barnes & Noble, but Target and Walmart and Chapters, Indigo Books, Hulu, Overdrive. There's so many. And we want to make sure your book is there, right? We want it to be in all the places. Well, I said Hulu, I meant Hoopla. That's what I meant, not Hulu. Hoopla. And then, of course, audiobooks, right? You gotta have your book everywhere in audiobooks. Let's talk about audiobooks for a minute, which is kind of similar self-publishing. You can publish your audiobook, and Amazon has a platform to do that so that your book is on Audible. But if you publish through Audible, you're telling them that you are not going to put your book anywhere else. And so you're basically committing to only have your book on Audible. They do put it on Amazon.com and they put it on iTunes. But other than that, your audiobook is nowhere else. So we recommend for people to put their book in over 40 different retailers for their audiobook. And those include like what I was talking about before, Hoopla and Overdrive and audiobooks.com and, your libraries and all the places where people listen to audiobooks, because it's more than just one place, right? Audible is the number one probably subscribed to audiobook company, but there's a lot, right? And Amazon owns audible.com. So just know that there's more options and you don't need to be just, on one place. So like I said, we had an author who had her account shut down But luckily, her paperback book was also published and on a different platform. And so that they distributed it to everywhere books are sold, including Amazon, right? So she also had a book on Amazon that wasn't shut down. She didn't have control with KDP anymore because they shut her account down. They couldn't get it back. But it's pretty awesome. So that's what you want to do for sure. That's the number one, is make sure your book is in more than one place when you're publishing. And of course, if you would like to hire us, we can help you to publish that book as well. Some other things that people have done, like things that are not very good, is sometimes there's like hidden costs, right? So you think, okay, well, I'm going to do it myself because it's going to cost me less. But then what ends up happening is it ends up costing you more, right? So I've seen people that say, oh, well, I'm just going to format the book myself. I'm not going to pay a designer or a format layout person to do the book, or I'm just going to find someone on Fiverr for $25. And then they end up getting in their book back and it's awful, right? And it's not in the right format. Like it needs to be a formatted PDF in the right format, right? In order to submit that book to any of the publishing platforms, you have to have a PDF. And so you want to hire the professionals, right? You want to actually pay for someone who's done it before, who has a good track record, who has good testimonials, and knows how to format a book properly. And that kind of goes with the cover too, right? If you cinch it on the cover and you don't hire a graphic designer on the cover and you say, oh, I'm just going to do it myself, Amazon has a free book template, I'll just use that. Those are awful. Those look really bad. And I think they made those in like the 90s. So, I mean, right when Kindle Direct Publishing came out, it wasn't probably the 90s, but like 2007 or 8 or something. It's really old. You do not want to be having your cover design by the free version that they give you in the templates of Amazon. You definitely want to hire a professional to get your book cover done. And there's some really good tools out there. We like 99 Designs, 100covers.com. There's some really good ones. But we have professional graphic designers that do our books, and you want to have a good book cover, right? So definitely use a professional to do your book cover. I've seen some people who will, like I said, go on Fiverr or other place and get a $5 book or a $10 book cover, and then they end up with a JPEG for their Kindle book and nothing else. And then they got to pay more because they didn't realize you have to have a PDF full spread cover of your book. For when you're publishing, you have to have the back cover, the spine. It has to be the right dimensions or it's going to look awful. So you really need a graphic designer who knows what they're doing and knows how to create that final formatted PDF of your book cover, or it's going to look awful. And most likely those graphic designers know how to use Adobe InDesign. They know how to use Adobe Illustrator, and they know how to use the template with the right spine width and get your book cover on there so it looks professional and wonderful. So that's just the few of the things, that mistakes that I see. Another really big mistake that I see authors make is they don't claim their Amazon author page. And they don't even know that there's this thing called Amazon Author Central. So that is one of the big ones. I recently just helped my nephew and niece get their books out, and we went and claimed their author pages. And so now they have a profile on Amazon. You get a special URL. It's amazon.com/author/your name. And that last part, your name, should match the exact author name you put on your book cover, right? So if you are put on your book cover, Dr. your name or your name.md, right? Whatever you put on your book cover, you want that to match when you do your URL. Because then when you have that awesome Amazon URL, you can put that link in the bottom of your email signature. You can put it on your LinkedIn. You can put it on, it's just a lot easier to copy and paste and type out. Put it on your business cards, put it on your bookmarks, all those places, right? So definitely have an Amazon author page. And on that author page, you definitely want to have a really good headshot. You don't want a headshot that's a selfie. I have seen actually some selfies that look okay for fiction authors. But if you're a nonfiction author, you do not want a selfie. Like, it's not going to look good. So you definitely want to have a really good headshot for your author bio photo. And then also a really good bio. And if you don't know how to write a good bio, there's tools and resources out there. We have a bio builder that we use with all of our authors that take them through step by step on how to write a really good bio. And then we help them write it and help them come up with a really good bio. Because sometimes it's hard to talk about yourself and remember all the accolades that you've done. And so having another person helping you with that, an editor or a book coach, can help you get a really good bio. Now, Amazon just changed this because you know what? Amazon changes all the time. So get used to it. But you used to could have links in the bottom of your bio. And then on your bio, on your Author Central page, you could read the bio and click and go to those links. So, having your website there, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, all the links that you want people to go to, courses, those kind of things. So if you go to my Amazon author page, Jenn Foster, or Melanie Johnson, my business partner, her author page, you can see all the links are there. But what Amazon changed is you can't click those links anymore because they realized we don't want people leaving our website. We want them to keep shopping and spending money, right? So those links are not active anymore. You can't click on them. Then you can't copy and paste them. So that works. So now when you're submitting your bios, there's a little trick that we do, and it does look like a typo, but I like it. You can put the name of your website there and then the .com. But if you try to submit that to Amazon, they'll say you can't. That is against our terms and conditions because you can't have a link in your bio. But if you do a space before the .com or a space after the dot, then they'll allow it. So sometimes I will put the @ symbol as well so people know like where you are on social media. So you can do @ mine is Jenn Foster Chick. So you can find me there if you want to find me on social media. But anyway, there's tricks, and I've been doing this for about 10 years, well, little over 10 years now, publishing books. And so it is really good to have a professional to help you. If you'd like to publish your book with us, you can find us at eliteonlinepublishing.com. We have an author submission button to see if you're a good fit for us. And we actually have a newsletter you can subscribe to as well so that you can avoid pitfalls and you can see all of our specials and deals. Check us out and don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with anyone who you think it would help. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye.